it's the wrap as far as the questions are concerned. Thank you so much, both of you, for taking your time out and helping our viewers with their stock-specific question. But next up, let's move on to a breaking news. Zee Entertainment source after SAT allows the company to proceed with preferential warrant issue in an interim relief in the SEBI case. Snehi, our colleague, joins in with all the details. Snehi, what's the latest update? The stock is almost up 7.5%.
Well, yes, absolutely. We've seen a very sharp uptick coming in Zee Entertainment, and this is an order coming in from SAT, which is the Satellite Securities Appellate Tribunal. Positive order for Zee because they have put a stay on SEBI's order against Zee. Just taking you through how this development has shaped up so far, Zee Entertainment Enterprises on Wednesday, they asked SAT, which is the Securities Appellate Tribunal, to lift SEBI's market access ban, saying it needs to sell about 1,200 crore rupees of liquid mutual fund investments to fund their day-to-day operations. Responding to the tribunal's question on why the company wanted to sell the investment, Zee Counsel said that the funds would be used mainly for short-term business requirements for making films, paying their people as well as creditors. Now, this plea comes as Zee challenges SEBI's 31st July order, barring the company from accessing the security markets for 2 months. The order also restrained Chief Executive Officer of the company, Mr. Puneet Goenka, and the promoter Subhash Chandra from accessing the market for 12 months each. And now SAT has put a stay to this SEBI order. The tribunal questioned SEBI on why Zee should be prevented from raising funds for 2 months if the proposed transaction could otherwise be completed after this ban expires. If there is no illegality in raising the money after 2 months and the teeth of this order should not be stopped in the securities market, what is the logic for that? That is what the tribunal has asked SEBI, and for now there has been a stay that has been put on SEBI's order, which now means that the promoters of the company can now use the market to raise the 1,200 crore rupee fundraising that they had earlier planned to do. Back to you.
All right, Snehi, so that's the latest update, but then you stay on. Also, Snehi, any update on the Q1 numbers?
Well, this is what we have on Zee right now, and this is the latest coming in. I'll need a couple of minutes to take a look at the quarter-one numbers, but as of now, the latest update is that India's SAT has halted SEBI's order against Zee. This is positive for the company, and this, of course, will now allow the company to go back into the market to raise that 1,200 crore rupee liquid mutual fund investment that they wanted. And we are going to be speaking with guests to try and get more clarity in terms of what happens to the promoter as well as the chief executive officer of the company in terms of their access to the market. So we'll be waiting for more details on that.
You know, what's going to be important is that now they can go out and raise that money that they were hoping to raise. So that perhaps, how do you see that on, you know, what we're seeing in terms of stock movement today? Snehi?
I believe we have Mr. Sriram Subramanian of InGovern joining us on the show. Mr. Subramanian, hi, good morning, and thank you so much for your time. You know, what are you making of this order that we are getting from SAT? They've put a stay on the SEBI order. What would this mean for the fundraising plans of the company and the promoters?
So one needs to see clearly as to what exactly the SAT stay says. Does it stay the entire SEBI order, which stops Zee from the warrant issue, and also Mr. Subhash Chandra and Mr. Puneet Goenka subscribing to any securities? So one needs to decipher that. If the warrant issue is stayed, at least SEBI order is stayed, obviously Zee can go ahead and do the warrant issue, which they would have had anyway 2 months done after 2 months. So to that extent, they can undertake that warrant issue today. But what I heard you say is that they are allowing access to mutual funds, which means that, see, any company needs liquidity and access to funds that they already have, or to invest in mutual funds if they have surplus cash. If I interpret that correctly, that is something that just from an operating perspective, SAT is allowing.
Okay, that's the first take coming in on this. We've also got Mr. H.P. Ranina joining us on the show with his view. Mr. Ranina, hi, welcome to the show. Give us a sense of what happens next in this entire debacle that we've seen when it comes to funds, when it comes to Zee. Do you believe Zee will have to look at shareholder approval once again for this entire 1,200 crore rupee amount that they were looking to raise?
No, I don't think they'll have to. If the shareholders have already passed the resolution, then that resolution stands. And the SEBI order, which has now been stayed, has therefore been lifted. Therefore, the resolution continues to operate, and they can go ahead straight away and raise the funds if they so wish.
Okay,
unless SEBI decides to go in on a special petition to the Supreme Court, which I doubt it will, because that will take another one week or so. But in the meanwhile, they can go ahead with the issue because the SAT order has been totally stayed for the moment.
Okay. Mr. Ranina, also help me understand, does this mean that the company will now have another extended period of fresh 15 days to submit that entire first tranche of 25% capital that they wanted to? Does it have to happen immediately? I'm just trying to understand the timeline of this fundraise.
Well, I think the 15-day period will apply to them. There's no bar on that because that is a procedural matter. Procedure has not been in any way affected. So that 15-day period will start from today, from the day of the SAT order, and they can proceed for the fundraising.
Understood. On that note, thank you so much, Mr. Ranina, as well as Mr. Subramanian, for your time today. That helps us put a lot of clarity on the kind of news that we're getting for Zee Entertainment. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right. Thank you for that, Snehi. So that's an order that's coming in for Zee. The stock trading up already. But we slip into a very short break. On the other side, we will be